Good morning, class. I am going to keep reading from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Rodrick Rules. Okay, we are going to start on Tuesday. When I got to school today, everyone was acting all strange around me, and at first I didn't know what was up. Look at that. Scream, scream. Everybody screaming. Then I remembered I still had the cheese touch from last year. I got the cheese touch I got the cheese touch in the last couple of weeks of school, and over the summer I completely forgot about it. The problem with the cheese touch is that you've got it until you pass it on to someone else. But nobody would even get within 30 feet of me, so I knew I was going to be stuck with the cheese touch for the whole school year. Luckily, there was a new kid named Jeremy Pindle in our homeroom, so that took care of that problem. Smacks him on the back. Welcome to school, Jeremy. My first class was pre-algebra, and the teacher put me right next to Alex Ardua, the smartest kid in the whole class. Alex is super easy to copy off because he always finishes his tests early and puts his paper down on the floor next to him. So if I ever get in a pinch, it's nice to know I can count on Alex to bail me out. Kids whose last name start with the first few letters of the alphabet get called on the most by the teacher, and that's why they end up being the smartest. Some people think that that's not true, but if you want to come down to my school, I can prove it to you. So here is Alex Ardua and Christopher Zegel. See the difference? I can only think of one kid who broke the last name rule, and that is Peter Utiger. Peter was the smartest kid in the class all the way up to 5th grade. That's when a bunch of us started giving him a hard time about his initials and how they sounded when he read them out loud. Teacher, the answer to that question is P-U. Yes, P-U, P-U. They're making fun of his initials. These days, Peter doesn't raise his hand at all, and he's pretty much a C student. I guess I felt a little bad about the whole PU thing and what happened to Peter, but it's hard not to take credit whenever it comes up. Here he says, I started that. Anyway, today I got pretty decent seats in all of my classes except 7th period history. My teacher is Mr. Huff, and something tells me he had Rodrick as a student a few years back. Okay, so here comes in and the teacher says to him, Mr. Huffley, you'll be sitting in this chair next to my desk. Oh man, nobody wants to sit by the teacher. Wednesday, Mom is making me and Rodrick help out more and more around the house, and now the two of us are responsible for doing the dishes every night. The rule is that we are not allowed to watch any TV or play video games until all the dishes are done. But let me just say that Rodrick is the worst dishes partner in the world. As soon as dinner's over, he goes upstairs to the bathroom and camps out for about an hour. And by the time he comes back downstairs, I'm already done. So here his brother comes downstairs. I'm ready to start. And the kitchen's all clean. But if I ever complain to Mom and Dad, Rodrick just pulls the same old lame excuse. He says, my body is on a schedule. I think Mom and Dad are too worried about my little brother Manny to get involved in a fight between Rodrick and me right now anyway. Yesterday, Manny drew a picture at daycare and Mom and Dad got really upset when they found it in his backpack. Uh-oh, look at that. There's two circle people screaming at the little person. Mom and Dad thought the picture was supposed to be of them, so now they're acting all lovey in front of Manny. Oh, I love you so much. Oh, I love you too. I knew who it was really supposed to be about, me and Rodrick. We got into a big blowout over the remote control the other night, and Manny was there to witness the whole thing. But Mom and Dad didn't need to find out about that. Thursday. Another reason my summer was kind of lame was because my best friend Raleigh was on vacation pretty much the whole time. I think he went to South America or something, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure. I don't know if this makes me a bad person or whatever, but it's hard for me to get interested in other people's vacations. Okay, so here they're talking, and Raleigh says, and then we're going to get on a boat and cruise down a river. And Greg says, hey, have you ever noticed that freckle before? So he's clearly not real interested. Besides, it seems like Raleigh's family is always traveling to some crazy place in the world, and I can never keep their trips straight. The other reason I don't care about Raleigh's trips is because whenever Raleigh comes back from one of his vacations, he always crams it down my throat. Last year, Raleigh and his family went to Australia for 10 days, but from the way he acted, you'd think he'd lived there his whole life. So here he comes back, he says, "Good day, mate," which is how they say that where he went on vacation. Another thing that's really annoying is that whenever Raleigh goes to some new country, he gets into whatever fad they have going on up there. Like Raleigh came back from Europe 2 years ago and got hooked on this pop star named Joshi, who I guess is a huge star or something. So Raleigh came back with his bags full of Joshi CDs and posters and stuff. Well, there's that. I took one look at the picture on the CD and told Raleigh that Joshi was supposed to be for 6-year-old girls, but he didn't believe me. Raleigh said I was just jealous because he was the one that discovered Joshi. And what made it really irritating was that now this guy was Raleigh's new hero. So if I ever tried to say something critical at all, Raleigh didn't want to hear it. Joshi says you should respect your parents and follow your dreams. So here he is. Speaking of foreign countries, today in French class, Madame Lefort told us we were going to be choosing a pen pal this year. When Rodrick was in middle school, he had a 17-year-old girl from Holland as his pen pal. I know because I seen the letters in his junk drawer. So here's Raleigh's pen pal, and it says, "I like the sun shining days and ice cream. Do you too?" When Madame Lefort handed out the forms, I made sure I checked off the boxes that would get me a pen pal just like Rodrick's. But after Madame Lefort read my form, she made me start over and pick again. She said I had to choose a boy who is my age and has to be French. So I wasn't exactly having high hopes for my pen pal experience. So here, this is Philippe. Friday. Mom decided to start making Rodrick pick me up after school, just like he picked me up after swim practice. I guess that means she didn't learn from that experience, but I did. So when Rodrick picked me up today, I asked him to please take it easy on the brakes. Rodrick said, okay, but then he went out of his way to find every speed bump in town. Look at there. He's going over all the speed bumps. When I got out of the van, I called Rodrick a big jerk, and then it got physical. Mom saw the whole thing unfold in front of the living room window. So you can hear the brothers are getting into a fight. Mom made us come inside and she sat down at the kitchen table. Then she said me and Rodrick were going to have to settle our differences in a civilized manner. Mom told me and Rodrick we had to write down what we did wrong, and then we had to draw a picture to go along with it. And I knew exactly where Mom was going with that idea. Mom used to be a preschool teacher, and whenever a kid did something wrong, she'd make them draw a picture of it. I guess it's her idea to make the kids feel ashamed of what they did so they won't do it again. Okay, here it says, I will not break the crayons because it makes other children very sad. Well, Mom's idea might have worked great on a bunch of 4-year-olds, but she's going to have to think of something better if she wants me and Rodrick to get along. Okay. So here is the first picture. It says, I will not call Rodrick names. And this is his bunny rabbit. Wah! And then down here it says, I will not push Gregory. So he's thinking about pushing him off a cliff into a shark. The truth is, Rodrick can pretty much treat me any way he wants because he knows there's nothing I can do about it. See, Rodrick is the only one who knows about this really embarrassing thing that happened to me over the summer, and he's been holding it over my head ever since. So if I ever tell on him for anything, he will spill my secret to the world. I just wish I had some dirt on him to even things out. I do know one embarrassing thing about Rodrick, but I don't think it's going to do me any good. When Rodrick was a sophomore, he was sick the day they did school photos. So Mom told Dad to mail in Rodrick's freshman picture for the school to use in the yearbook. Dad, don't ask me how Dad screwed that up, but he sent Rodrick's second grade picture. And believe it or not, it actually got printed.